Alright, so for the past couple of weeks, this game, not you, has been on the minds of every Fire Emblem fan. Because the last thing we were supposed to be excited about looked like this. And as a man with questionable taste, I know a Hololive design when I see one. For anyone who doesn't, they saw their quite serious tactical war game franchise was getting a new installment, but unfortunately, it was being directed and produced by Willy Wonka. And then they were told to pay $90. And quite understandably, most normal people's response to that was,
"Oh, you off your Ragnarocker, die!"
Yeah, so I'm sure you could imagine how nice it was to see a game that looks this good after all this time, with clear ties to what is now the most popular game in the franchise, and the fact that it was good enough to close out a direct. Even if you like Engage, and I know I do, you can admit this is probably the best thing to happen to Fire Emblem since 2019. Actually, that depends on how much of a goon you are. How much money did these characters steal off you? You can be honest in the comments. This is a safe space. My money would have went to them, but I've been broke for a very long time. So Fortune's Weave is exciting, and because of that, it's been on my mind quite a bit. And in thinking about Fortune's Weave so much, Intelligent System has successfully found a new way to also have me thinking about Three Houses, the game that they won't shut up about, and the game that I have been hypnotized into giving my undivided attention when it's talked about. Which makes sense. The world in that game is clearly so much bigger than they were able to explore in the scope of the original game, which I think is impressive. Making a world feel that big without doing the work of making it big? The Linhardt in me smiles every time I see how effectively they cut corners. But that's why it's been on my mind. Because Fortune's Weave, if you ask me, is a prequel. I'll explain that later. And if that's the case, then you have to make references to the characters that exist hundreds of years in their future. There will be no more cuttable corners. Every ignored character will be noticed. If you can't explain to me how the events of Fortune's Weave affect Labaltus James's legacy, then you're doing something wrong. If this girl with the round glasses and beta energy is not also an artist or a merchant, meaning that she has no relationship to Big Knots the Goat, then you failed me. If the only dude with red hair in this trailer is not hitting on grannies, then change his hair color. Do you understand what I'm saying? This dude has blue eyes, is a literal half man, half beast, and is so clearly a king of some kind. He better be eating weeds out of the earth like a camel. And if not, I'm filing a complaint. If there is not a man, woman, child, or armed dog standing in front of that gate, I will have something to report. If Theodora and Dorothea have no connection, then why would you do that? If Lita is mad at anyone other than a landlord trying to replace the opera company with a Wendy's, then what are we fighting for? If guns are in Fortune's Weave and not Three Houses, the only explanation I will accept is if they stuffed their firepower into this girl's wrist and made guns obsolete. If any of you are a Von Eyre, when you speak, if you have more in common with the Divine Sovereign than Groot, then you're a fraud. I need every character in this game referenced in Fortune's Weave, and I think we can all agree on that. I mean, I would take any opportunity to make fun of Lawrence, and I think even he should not be in the game. We all get one veto. Mine is Lawrence. You can pick whoever you want, except for Marianne. We don't do that around here. Look at the sign. All that to say, I'm excited about Fortune's Weave. I know I'm gonna enjoy it, but I do not envy the developers of this game, who have the awful job of trying to appease nutcases like me. And though I say that, I will be patiently awaiting Fire Emblem Wendy's, please and thank you. Oh, and before I forget, I did promise I would explain why I think Fortune's Weave is a prequel, and it's not for any logical reason that I would be willing to fight for, but you see this weapon they call the Answerer? Listen. That is Marianne's weapon. And no, that was not a question or a suggestion. I do not need to be corrected. You can call it Answerer all you want. That is Bluck Gang. And the vampire holding the weapon has basically been confirmed to be related to Mercedes and Yuritsa. And what you'll notice about these two is that they're not Marianne. So if this were a sequel, someone in the Psychopath's bloodline would have done something to Marianne to get the sword. And if that's what happened, then we're going to have problems. Read the sign. So I don't know that it's a prequel. It just better not be a sequel. So y'all can find the comments about prequels and sequels. It just won't be with me. But I do read all of them, so watch what you say down there. Alright, so bye.